Big up Liquid Richard. Don't come in here and ask me how my day is and shit like that. I don't care about that. I cry because it hurts my fucking feelings, dude. Like my stomach hurts. This is my job, man. This is how I put food on the table.
Real talk.
Sleep all goddamn day, every day. Play the same fucking games over and over and over again every day. My day is shit. It's gonna be shit tomorrow. It's just gonna be shit after that. Just gonna be shit after that. My day is shit. It's gonna be shit tomorrow. It's just gonna be shit after that. Just gonna be shit after that. I'm a fat dude. I'm going to cheat. I'm a fat dude. Throwing controllers to a beat. I'm a fat dude. I'm going to cheat. I'm a fat dude. What fucking excuses did I make? I'm not fucking afraid. People ask me about my weight. Waking up every day. I can see myself right now choking fucking Scumpy. I'm grumpy because I need to get subscribers, dude. I'm grumpy because I need to get subscribers, dude. Insulting my gaming skills is permaban. You come in here and you troll again. Sleep all goddamn day. Every day. Play the same fucking games over and over and over again every day. My day is shit. It's gonna be shit tomorrow. It's just gonna be shit after that. Just gonna be shit after that. My day is shit. It's gonna be shit tomorrow. It's just gonna be shit after that. Just gonna be shit after that. Motherfuckers come in here every day of their fucking life. Every day of their fucking life. Motherfuckers come in here. Motherfuckers come in here.
Come on.
I feel like shit. Nobody's ever gonna fucking love me. Gonna fucking love me. I feel like shit. Nobody's ever gonna fucking love me. Gonna fucking love me. Dude, I spend my entire life sitting in this fucking room, insulting my gaming skills and permaban. You come in here and you troll again. Sleep all goddamn day. Every day. Play the same fucking games over and over and over again every day. My day is shit. It's gonna be shit tomorrow. It's just gonna be shit after that. Just gonna be shit after that. My day is shit. It's gonna be shit tomorrow. It's just gonna be shit after that. Just gonna be shit after that. My day is shit. Big up Liquid Richard.
Richard.
What is up, chat? What's going on? How y'all doing? Welcome to the stream. Appreciate you guys joining me on this fine Monday evening. We'll get started here shortly. Just gonna wait just a little bit for more people to join the chat here and wait for my co-host Aura as well, because we're gonna finish up the Gorman interview and we're gonna go over some of the BAM files today. So that should be fun. Also, our buddy BBQ Counselor put out a video regarding Ben's counterclaims that we might check out here. So that should be fun. But let's go ahead and get this fixed here. Oh my. Oh my. I might showing up so little there. There we go. Let me fix some settings here. And we will get right underway here. There we go. So let's go ahead and get this up here. And yeah, we're going to finish wrapping this one up. Howdy, howdy. How you doing? Hey, Rachel Linder. Yeah, BBQ. Yeah, he's great. Yeah, that's our buddy. We enjoy his content. Dude is killing it. Yeah, we appreciate all the information he provides. He does a fantastic job breaking stuff down too. So really like the work that he does over there on his channel. All right, there we go. Boom. There we are. Okay. Now y'all can see me there. Here's a little crazy today. All right. Let's see here. So I guess while we wait, we'll just get this underway here. And if there's anything I think that's worth going back, we'll do that. And let's go ahead and just get this started here.
Brandon and Josh.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Excellent.
And then yeah.
So this pattern may predate Brandon and Josh.
Okay. All right.
So if you guys remember last time, this is where we left off for last time. They were talking about the pattern of how Bricks and Minifigs operates kind of like how they have this pattern of taking over stores, right? They use a certain playbook they seem to draw on. And like I said, I've theorized, of course, that there's some people that they might get to be, and we've talked about this before on the channel, that maybe there's people that they target to become franchise owners, kind of set them up for failure. Again, allegedly, speculating, of course, don't know that for a fact, but it seems like they don't give them the proper tools that they need in order for them to be able to successfully run their franchises. And then at the first hint of them potentially leaving, it seems like, or whatever Bricks and Minifigs corporate decides seems to be kind of troublesome. They do what they can to get them out of there, it seems like. So.
All right. Excellent. So people online, guys, are using the term franchise churning.
I'd never heard this until until after I posted my video. People were like, that sounds like franchise churn. And I was like, I better look that up.
Exactly. Yep. And we're getting comments, churn. So just in case that's new to people watching the interview, it's a predatory business practice where a franchisor intentionally hastens the failure of a franchisee in order to seize the location or terminate the agreement
and all the assets.
Yeah.
They're taking the assets.
And it sounds to me like
familiar.
the very fact that there's a name for it and that it is against the law means this is like the kind of thing where somebody could like research the scam. Like this is an established scam in the same way we know what a pyramid scheme is, right?
But you also
franchise churn is a thing, and I'd never heard of it before, and I'm like, oh, now I know what to call the thing that we very well may be a victim of.
So that's the question. Do you think that term fits what you have kind of experienced, in your opinion?
I believe at this point we'll decline to comment on that.
We can say that our personal experience is consistent with what is described when people describe the experience of a franchisee who experiences franchise
That's
churn.
fair.
But we can only speak to our experience.
I will say somebody has made online every single franchise disclosure document available going all the way back. And it would be really interesting if somebody out there on the internet went through and looked at all the locations to see how often a location changed hands.
Yeah.
Because that's listed in every franchise disclosure document.
That'd be pretty interesting, right? But I would imagine that'd be a very tedious amount of work to have to go through, right? You'd have to basically look at a lot of public records across state lines. You'd have to see where there was franchise locations, then look for business records that are public online, and a bunch of stuff. It would take a bit, and depending on how many, because you got to imagine, right? Franchises that existed before in certain locations aren't going to exist anymore, so you got to find those. So it'd be a hell of an effort to. I'm sure somebody probably is out there doing that as we speak. There probably is somebody that went ahead and took on that responsibility, right? To try to find, how many times maybe each particular franchise has been taken over. I would imagine, that's going to be a lot of different, records you're going to have to go through.
The stores that changed hands in 2023, between 2023 and 2024, and 2024 and 2025 in particular, are very interesting. The rate of failure is suspiciously high. From my understanding of statistically speaking.
Yeah, and a lot of people online right now are calling for the FBI and Cash Patel and them to get involved and investigate them.
Yeah.
And I wish that would happen.
So one store looks like it could be isolated. It's one.
Yeah.
But two stores. Right. Okay, I got some questions. And now 3 stores, I think we have a pattern here. And now 4, what you guys are 4, 5, 6, 7. telling me is the number 7 potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially.
And a lot of people online right now are calling for the FBI and Cash Patel and them to get involved and investigate them.
Potentially.
So that is definitely an interesting way to look at this, and we're going to see. I mean, guys, this could blow up into an even bigger, much bigger ordeal
Yeah.
than what's happened with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
What's happened with Brian Mansell and his Lego collection. This could be something way bigger than that, because it looks like.
Could you imagine that if they were investigated by the FBI and it turned out that they've been franchise churning for a few years, right? Since they've owned bricks and Minifigs. If there's a lot more people that have gone through than we initially suspected, right? Because we know of the ones that have been publicly made available online, right? The information has been publicly made available. We know for sure, the Gormans, Relic. We know about them attempting to do it to the Messers. The plastic pallets case is another case where that happened, and there's been a few other ones that have been rumored, right? But not necessarily that those people have come forward public just yet. So imagine if it's even more than that, though. That'd be crazy. Yeah, at that point, I mean, yeah, you gotta investigate them.
If there's more revealed there, woo! If franchise turning is really happening, if 37 stores come forward saying, "Look what happened to us from this corporation," man, that is good.
That'd be it. Stick a fork in them, they're done, right? Because there's not going to be any amount. I mean, there's going to be there's going to be some time that's being done there. Punky says, should troll us and release another longer interview. I guess we'll see.
Going to be an interesting tale to watch unfold.
I'd also be really hesitant if I were. I feel bad for the franchise locations that haven't even opened yet, right? That have signed their agreements and are locked in. I mean, Nick, you were talking earlier about like why don't more former owners, right?
Yeah,
We're saying the same thing about like why aren't.
We talked about this too, right? That there's the potential that a lot of these people that were in the process of becoming franchisees had already started that process before Ben's videos had even come out. So it's kind of like they might know about this stuff after the fact. There's some that might not. There's some that might not be, that might not use the internet that much. It's possible that they could be completely oblivious to all this. I would think at this point, though, it's such big news that just about everybody that's become a franchisee has got to be at least mildly aware that this is happening. But I would imagine, though, there was some that when they initially went in, they had absolutely no clue that any of this stuff was going to come out or that any of this was going on. And they were already, like they said, like the Gormans just said here, that they were already locked in. So it's like they're already in, so they couldn't back out, right? And it kind of sucks for them, right? Because they're trapped. Because maybe you have to imagine that if some of them had been privy to some of this information beforehand, they might have, they probably would have reconsidered potentially becoming franchisees, right? They were like, let's see how this shakes out a little bit more. Let's see what's going on. Maybe we should talk to some more people before we decide to sign on the dotted line, right? You would think, but it is what it is.
Franchises stepping away from the brand, right? Like there's a reason you're facing fines, right? Imagine going into debt, $50,000, $100,000 to buy your store and then saying, okay, we're going to come in and now you owe us all of that. Plus we're going to double it in fines and shut you down. Right. And then force you into an NDA and force you to spend a couple $100,000 on attorney's fees and all that. I have all the sympathy, like I have sympathy for all the franchise owners. I imagine.
What's up, man?
What's going on? How you doing?
Welcome, brother. Welcome. Good to see you.
Hell yeah.
So just kind of picked up where we left off a little bit, about 5 minutes more in. So.
Gotcha. That's what's up. Hell yeah. Let's go. Let's get it.
Yeah, this is the part where they talk about franchise churning.
There are a lot of people that are waiting to see what happens to us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
because as far as I am aware right now, we are the only people that are suing Bricks and
Corporate.
Minifigs corporate.
So that's actually a great segue here. You guys you went through a time where you didn't need to speak. You had a couple weeks where we're figuring this out, and we're not making public statements right now. So much has happened. You guys thought this was something that nobody was ever going to know about. Nobody's ever going to help us. And then all of a sudden, this thing explodes, man.
Yeah.
There are so many people that have been on this story. We've been covering it. So
All
many
over the
people are
world.
covering it. It's all over the countries all around the world. Nick's exactly right. We're getting messages from people in like Italy.
Australia,
A
Italy.
movie in another town. I took my son to go see a movie, and he's at a university, so we were at his, college town. And somebody yelled across the parking lot just based on seeing us.
Brick by brick.
What
No.
they yelled, expletive bricks and minifigs.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty funny.
And I was just like, what is,
We ran it. We were going through the Portland airport and just crossed paths with somebody who was also jumping on a plane. Who was like, "Wait, aren't you?"
Right.
Yeah.
So
Because we're nobodies, right? There's no
we're people who got our store taken.
we did not
Like,
have
we
any
don't-
kind of
we
any
didn't-
kind of voice. If I had made a video about
I'm sure
what
that's what
happened
corporate thought too.
a year and a half ago, no,
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, they thought it was going to be nothing. Yeah, it was just another day
Yeah,
at the
we're-
office for them.
Who are you? Who cares, right? I swear that's what they thought.
Yeah,
That's what they
Yeah.
always think. I swear.
of course. They completely underestimated the power of the internet.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I'll say.
seen it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I can speculate about what would have happened. Corporate would have come out and immediately sent
sued
a
us.
TRO and tried to sue us, right?
Right.
And so it was one of those, like, we did not have any kind of platform for anything. So we've been existing for, a year and a half, just kind of going, we're not making any progress. They're not coming to the table. They're not doing mediation. They're not having conversations with us. They are avoiding everything, to where we got to the point where we finally had to have a conversation with our lawyer of like, no, let's file the lawsuit.
Right.
And so then, now they're like, we
now-
want mediation.
Now they want to
but
talk.
Now they want to talk. Now they want to come to the table and deal.
The question is, are they going to be serious? Like,
Yeah.
do they show up to talk and go, "Hi, we're here, kick rocks"?
Wait, did
Right.
you
Yeah,
get
well,
changed?
yeah, one of our subscribers made me and Coach one of these.
I was gonna say, did you just change your hat?
Yeah, so
This is a real shirt that was
Yeah.
made by Bricks and Minifigs itself for an event that they did, and now it feels a little different.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
wow.
Minifigs, roll for initiative.
Yeah, that's
We
awesome.
did
That's
an
funny.
online D&D game where all the stores across the company hosted D&D, and then we streamed it between all the stores, and so they got shirts.
So I was like, I should wear that shirt. It means a little something different now.
That's crazy. Wow. That's cool though. That's cool that they did that, but that's funny, right? How the tables have turned.
Yeah.
Wow.
For sure.
Yeah,
For
enter
sure.
into combat. Bricks
Yeah,
and
our meetup that we had.
We
in,
made this
Nashville.
one when we went to Brick World.
Yes, Schrodinger's U-Haul.
Yeah, yeah. You can't see the bottom, but it says looks like a bookshelf to me. But sure.
That is funny.
Yeah,
So
the meetup we had in Nashville, I wore this there and had several people approach me and ask me about it.
yeah.
And you know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's so many people talking about it. So what would you like to say to all the people who have been supporting you guys, everybody coming over from the Reckless Ben side of things,
I mean,
the public
and to the people
watching,
that really come after you too in a negative.
and to the other franchise owners right now.
Right.
there are, first, there's always going to be people that dislike you, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be people
Yeah.
that dislike me. There's going to be people that believe everything that corporate is saying. That's inevitable, and I can't let myself lose sleep about it, right? it's difficult because I am, Ben and I are both chronic people pleasers, but
So I'm like, oh no, this person hates me, and then I'm like,
this person doesn't like me,
with
right?
these
And then-
numbers-
We know all about that all too well
Right.
here on our.
Oh, yes, we do.
Huh.
Yeah. But to the people that have been supportive and so amazingly generous with the GoFundMe, like I don't even know how you say thank you enough.
Like,
Right?
I put out a show every week, and I've just been like, I've got like a portion of the show every week that's just thank you to all of these people who've been so amazing, and just letting those folks know how much that has meant to us.
Which we're also going to link Benjamin's channel in the description below as well, guys. So their GoFundMe will be listed there as well as his channel. So you guys definitely go.
Yeah, check it out. It's been fun. I've been writing, so I'm a novelist. So that's one of the things that we've kind of joked about is like for years I've been writing books, and now I'm famous for having my store stolen. And it's like, why couldn't I, connect it?
And just for those of you that want to help Chrystal out, I linked her GoFundMe here in the chat. You guys want to, support her by either donating it or sharing it.
These folks through my books, but I've been writing this book that is about kind of a character who is going through the same thing. So it's like a way for people to kind of get some insight. So that's been fun, especially when we felt like we were not allowed to say anything.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, well, the character is suing Megacorp. We all know what that means, So but now I've got characters who are based on like CoffeeZilla, and I have Reckless Ken, the magical Billy Goat, so I'm
That's great.
I like that he made him into a goat. That's hilarious.
Yeah. A magical one named Ken.
You could literally
magical goat named Ken. That's fantastic.
Hell yeah.
I'm sure that those will be shirts at some point.
write a movie script on this whole situation and sell it to Netflix or somebody.
I try to describe to people what's going on in my life, and I'm just like, it sounds made up.
Right.
It just it sounds, because as every like normal people, right? I'm not normal. I don't like normal. Normal. I don't like to say that, right?
That normal.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Average people that aren't famous or well known.
I mean, yeah, right.
Yeah,
normal is
certainly,
overrated.
middle
but,
class.
But like you see things like this happen. These stories go viral, and you watch it from the outside, and it just seems so like. But to be living inside of that is it's weird. Really a weird. Like my therapist has been like. We've been chatting because I have this thing that my therapist calls the fear of being perceived. And if there's anybody that's watching this that is like, yes, I also hate buffets, that's what you have. I basically always exist under the belief that people are watching and judging me. I hate buffets. He has to get all the food, and then I eat off of his plate. It's buffets are my nightmare. I hate them.
And now there really are hundreds of thousands of people watching.
I talk to my therapist because every time that we've talked about this notion of being like judged by everybody that I see, she's always been like, just remind you that you're not out there judging people when you see them. Like, it's not real. It's basically like a therapist speak of like, it's all in your head and it's not real. Right. Yeah. After all of this, I had an appointment and I was like, it's not real. Right. And she's like, in your case now. And she was just like, the sense of irony I've never experienced with a client before. So I can amuse my therapist out of all of this, which is fun.
Right.
But it's just the sheer amount of attention and support. Like people living in our apartment complex, we had somebody brand new moving in and goes, "Hey, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah." It's so wild. Like it's really kind of crazy.
Some folks who are
let's call that there's some kind of good like that.
Time and up, yeah.
It's not just a bunch of people just shitting on them.
Yeah, they're just not random people just saying nasty stuff to them.
Yeah, at least they're like empathetic to them and supportive of them. At least there's something good out of that,
Well, the thing is, like in situations like this, typically, I mean, most people, right, in cases like this, are going to be more supportive. There's going to be the people that are going to be the skeptics, and just they just don't want to, be on board at all, and might chastise and say stuff. So it's just,
I mean, of course,
it's good that they're getting
but yeah, I'm just glad.
No.
Like, yeah, I think we're on the same page though.
Yeah, I'm glad they're getting support. I'm glad they are. Yeah. So it's just, for me, I like I said, I'm happy for them that they're getting the support that they should be getting for something like this, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So
because you don't have people out there with their narrative. That's what I'm saying. Like, you stole those Legos from that guy, and blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm sure there's still those people that are coming through and trying to be like, oh, you stole the Legos, to them too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
investigative journalists. They were just like, this is clearly wrong, and I want to learn more about it.
Oh,
and they
yeah.
have been research, doing the like red pin, on the wall.
The BJC live show. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her.
Right?
She's doing the whole chart and putting all the pieces together.
Yeah.
Like,
we are so. I mean, in some cases, the things those
sending
folks have
things
found
to our attorneys
have then gone to our attorney and will be used in our case. So I'm so grateful for folks who are doing that research. It really will make a difference.
Excellent.
The internet will find out everything.
Right?
Oh yeah, no, it's been amazing, and I'm like Ben's on YouTube more than I YouTube's not really my particular. I'm more of a TikTok because I don't like to script and I don't like to edit, and that just listen, what comes out is what you get, and that's it. Drives him crazy, right?
I'm like, we need to flip that.
So I'm Reddit because then I can think about the words that I'm typing, or TikTok because nobody cares. And so for me, Reddit has been, it's been a weird, Reddit has been for me, just like my kind of a mental health cleanse. Right. Cause there's a couple of particular subreddits where I can just go on there, and the support in there and the comments and the messages that I'm getting.
The memes they're posting.
The memes.
So great.
The very first time I saw my own face as a meme was crazy. And then what was even crazier is my husband took a meme of my face and posted it on Facebook, which is this weird level of inception that is just weird.
It's definitely been a roller coaster of a journey for you guys, I'm sure.
It really has.
Miserable, and then there've certainly been highs, and we know it's going to be long.
And there,
like,
it is very much like
because this could be, they could drag this thing out for
or like the week and a half, the 2 weeks that we had to wait for CoffeeZilla's video to come out was like, that was like, we had this up of, oh my gosh, that went so great. Like, right. But we didn't see any of the other side of it. Yeah. Any of the corporate stuff, the mess.
Oh boy. They didn't see how bad it went for, the corporate side of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, if you guys saw my reaction to it, I was like, they should have never. Yeah, they probably should have never. And Bricks and Minifigs should have never talked to CoffeeZilla.
I still don't know why they
help
did.
them. Yeah,
to be honest, I don't know what they were.
Did not help their case. Yeah, did not help their case at all.
Messages, the photos, any of that stuff.
It just further incriminated them.
The U-Haul. That's what came out of that.
Right. Yeah, that's the biggest. Yeah, the biggest thing was that U-Haul truck, which again. They still had, in my opinion, would have had plausible deniability about the U-Haul, except for the fact that Brandon provided the receipt for the U-Haul, and I was like, oh well, there's the paper trail. So they substantiated themselves that it was indeed their U-Haul.
It was rough, bro. Remember, it's not a U-Haul; it's a rental car.
Yeah, it's a rental car. Well, actually, there was a U-Haul.
Yeah,
and then it's just like.
And we did use it to take things to our other store.
We did, but it wasn't. It's not what you think. The U-Haul was there, but it's not for what you think it was there for. It was actually for something else. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I was living in there.
My home at the time. I was between homes.
Not for real. I had to save some money by renting a rental car to live in. Fucking asshole.
Yeah. Oh man.
we watched that along with everybody else. Like I watched that on his Patreon.
Yeah.
We only know what like our side of it was.
Right.
That was
And
very
so
nerve-wracking.
that time period of waiting, it very similar with the time period of waiting for like Reckless Ben's first video to come out and then the second video to come out. And now we're back there, not so much with the third.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop there.
Yeah.
But there's been these.
We are excited about the third. That's all we can say.
Everybody's excited to see part 3.
Can't wait. The world stops spinning when he drops that third video.
It's gonna be pretty big, folks. Check that one out.
I can't wait.
I'm excited to see what happens with that.
Yeah, so people just to address this real quick. Yeah, people did they found that it was after 6 a.m. The next day, not the 11 o'clock at night that they were trying to say it was. It was actually the next day that it was returned.
It's gonna be wild.
But it's definitely like it's this emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
And then it's a really weird thing because we're dealing with the legal side of it, right?
Yeah.
Is weekends are weird, right? Because they're so quiet.
Courts aren't in session, right? The lawyers aren't working. So weekends go dead, but YouTube's still going.
Yeah.
Right?
And so there's this like I can finally relax on the weekend because I don't have to worry about like, are they gonna put a restraining order on us? Are they gonna do this?
Right.
Are they gonna do like there's this kind of like little sense of a calm on the weekend, but also like my job is I don't work like a Monday through Friday. And so I'm still working a 40-hour week.
She's a manager, of course, management. That's what she does, right? But the place where she works, you got to have a manager on staff on the weekends.
Yeah.
So her days off are like Tuesday or Thursday or whatever. So her schedule.
And so I'm like in between, and then I work. Anybody that works retail, I might be in management in retail, but it's still retail, right? Like you have morning shifts and then evening shifts, and so I'm either like. It happened to be really weird the other day. I was sitting in the parking lot at work waiting to go into work, and I was able to jump on, what's his name? Luss?
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
Like his Luce?
Is it Luce or Luss? I don't actually know.
Like,
you know what I'm talking about?
I just say Lus. I'm not sure how he pronounces it.
like
Super nice guy.
I the comments on his live for a few minutes before I had to go into work. And so then I have the, a couple hours before work and after work where I'm frantically going through and seeing, okay, what are the notifications? What are the new videos that have come out? What are the new, right?
Every day it's something.
Recording line.
Yeah. Every morning.
We have. Oh, yeah.
Guys, look, thank you. It goes without saying, we're pulling for you.
Yeah.
Please keep us updated on anything happening, and it doesn't matter if it's 6 months from now, if it's being dragged out or whatever. But
because we want to keep the story alive, and we want to keep people's interest in this because we feel that this is an important story for people in the whole world to know about. With not only the corrupt, corporate, shenanigans that we're seeing allegedly, and the American Police Department. Which we have not forgotten about.
Definitely not.
Which you guys have not really have any direct involvement with.
No, we don't have any involvement with them, but I think that it speaks to, this story is emblematic of other things. And I think that's why it's resonating so much with so many people is they're saying
bullying and corruption.
Corporations are able to treat people.
I'm
frustrated with the way police are able to treat people. So I think it's keying in on something that a lot of people feel.
That's like a deeper corruption, right?
Yeah.
So we will we'll come back when we have updates. So we'd love to be on again.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. That's the Gormans. Let us know what you think about it in the comments. Everything to support them is in the description on this video. Thanks for watching. You are Echo Base Network. It's been a long one. We appreciate you watching, guys. See you in the next one.
Thank you.
All right. So there goes that interview. So I also have, we made it. We made it through. So I have the first part of their band files up, and I also have BBQ Counselor's video up. So which that he put up 2 hours ago. So I'm wondering which one of these did you want to go over?
I know what's his name. Barbecue Council is like 44 minutes long. I don't know how much long the BAM files is.
I think the BAM files one is about 12 minutes. I guess we'll do that one first, and then we'll look at BBQ's video and see what knowledge BBQ is dropping. So this is the first part. Yeah. Oh yeah, he's got to live up to the name. I wonder if he could do that with every one of his videos. Just make ribs while he, while he's also filming content. But here's the first part of the BAM files. We'll go ahead and link this video too as well. For those of you that want to see it without our commentary on it.
I believe
First,
Echo
a
Base has a
multi-part series.
Patreon now. So y'all should go subscribe to his Patreon if you haven't, or at least check it out.
Yes. These guys out.
After weeks of controversy surrounding bricks and minifigs, often referred to as BAM, the company released a public statement laying out several different ways that it plans to improve, rebuild trust, and move forward. But here's the question. Who actually has the power inside BAM to make those changes happen? And who does the CEO, Ammon McNeff, answer to? And when you start asking that question,
I like that he used that picture of Ammon. He looks so miserable.
That looks like a mugshot. Like low key.
Look at this picture. Look at this picture of Ammon. He looks so miserable in the picture.
Move forward. But here's the question. Who actually has the power inside BAM to make those changes happen? And who does the CEO...
He's just so... I hate all this.
I know, right? It looks like he has no eyebrows. It's like he went reverse Super Saiyan 3. You know what I mean? Like, just lost the eyebrows.
Yeah, yeah, look at this. I think you might be right. Maybe he shaves them. It's like you can barely see them on there. Look at that. Geez.
You'll never know what I'm thinking. You don't know if I'm happy or sad or anything. Life is nothing. Time is a construct. Like, fuck off, Aim. What are you doing?
This is how I fool people. See, I have a good poker face.
Pain.
I have a good feel my pain. I have a good poker face. Look at my face.
You just look at it. Fucking look at it.
Look at me.
Yeah.
Oh man.
He looks very swollen.
Ammon
I wonder what happened.
He looks very what?
Swollen.
Yeah,
He looks swollen, like he got stung.
I mean, he's taking a beating publicly, man. So I don't know. Maybe it just he breaks out.
Is that what it is?
Maybe, I don't know.
Word.
It is what it is. He's allergic to all the attention, all the publicity.
I'm allergic to the truth. Fucking asshole. Shut up.
answer to? And when you start asking that question, one name keeps coming up.
Reed Brimhall.
There is someone who has 51% of the shares.
Yeah.
That is neither one of the McNeff brothers.
Brimhall or whatever.
Reed Brimhall. We have analyzed the company documents. We have reviewed public reporting. We have spoken with multiple sources with direct ties to BAM. And we've been in contact with Mr. Brimhall himself. So today we begin the BAM Files, our 4-part investigative series into the questions that Bricks and Minifigs has not fully answered. Episode 1 starts with the ownership question. Who really owns BAM? And why exactly does Reed Brimhall's name continue to come up?
Reed!
Before we get into the documents, I want to be clear. This series is not about attacking local Bricks and Minifig store owners. A lot of them are small, independent business owners, and many may be caught right in the middle of a controversy they did not create. This series is about documents, sources, unanswered questions, and accountability. We're going to show you what we know, separate it from what we do not know, and maybe most importantly, give the people involved an opportunity to respond. I'll be walking you through the story and the documents, and Nick will step in with the reporting timeline, who we contacted, what questions were sent, and what answers we did or did not receive. BAM's recent PR statement lays out several promises, but promises only matter if we know who has the authority to make them real. Who has control? Who has voting power? Who makes the final call on litigation, public statements, franchisee communication, store transitions, and reform? That is why the Reed Brimhall question matters. First, the official document. BAM's 2026 franchise disclosure document, called the FDD, lists Reed Brimhall as Chief Financial Officer. That matters because this is not a rumor or a random online claim. This comes from BAM's own FDD. But the next line is what caught our attention. The FDD says Reed has been CFO of the franchisor and the franchisor's parent since June 2016. In plain English, the franchisor is BAM Franchising Incorporated. Now, a parent company means that some owner or entity is above it. And that phrase.
So that sounds like to me that Reed Brimhall basically he exceeds the McNeffs. Like he's been there before the McNeffs were even owners, because I don't think they were owners back in 2016. I think it was 2017, 2018 or something around about. So I could be wrong when they took ownership. So he has been a part of BAM Franchising Inc. a lot longer than they've had ownership there.
The franchisor's parent. It's one of the reasons we started asking the questions, because in another section, the FDD says BAM has no parents or predecessors required to be disclosed. Now, I'm not saying that is a contradiction or wrongdoing, and there may be a simple explanation to that. But it does raise a fair question. If Reed Brimhall is the CFO of the franchisor and the franchisor's parent, what parent entity is being referenced? And who owns or controls it? The FDD also connects Reed Brimhall to the Boise, Idaho Bricks and Minifigs location. The listing says that location is owned and operated by an entity in which BAM's CFO is an owner. That does not prove that.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. I'm just wondering, like I said, because he predates the McNeffs, it seems like, though, in terms of his role with the company overall. At least on the corporate side.
Brimhall owns BAM Franchising, but it does show Reed is connected in two ways. Corporate
let me go back.
In which BAM's CFO is an owner. That does not prove that Reed Brimhall owns BAM Franchising, but it does show Reed is connected in two ways: corporate leadership and store-level ownership. And these things are really important when you're investigating who has the authority in a system. Then we found another public reference. A Profile magazine article about Reed Brimhall described him as part owner and CFO of BAM Franchising. That is important because it publicly supports the idea that Reed's role is not only financial leadership. It also points to an ownership connection. But let's keep this precise. Part owner does not mean majority owner, and part owner does not tell us who has voting control. So this doesn't settle the question, but it makes the question stronger. And before we go into what sources told EBN, I want to pause here and separate what the documents show versus what they do not show. Nick has been tracking the reporting side of this, so he's going to walk us through that line.
And this is where we want to be careful. The FDD documents Reed Brimhall's role as CFO. The Boise listing documents a store-level ownership. In the Profile magazine article, publicly describes Reed as part owner and CFO. But none of that by itself proves majority ownership or voting control. That is why the next part matters. What sources told EBN what we could verify and what we still could not confirm?
This is where our source work comes in. EBN spoke with Tavea Marconi, a former Bricks and Minifigs manager who worked directly.
Remember that name? Remember it now?
I told you I heard it somewhere. Yeah.
So
I told you. I was like, I swear I heard it somewhere. Marconi.
So this person, so I just became aware of this. I feel terrible about it now because I hadn't seen these comments. But Tavea Marconi had, or allegedly Tavea Marconi had been trying to reach out to us. I had no idea until just recently because I did reach out to her. I reached out to her. You did? You did? Oh, okay, good. Yeah, awesome. Awesome. So when I told you, yeah. See, I didn't know because I was just, I don't get this, like, I can't answer all the comments. I can't see all the comments because we get so many comments on our videos. We have over 600 videos on the channel. So I'm getting comments on videos that are like years old sometimes too. So I can't see. So unfortunately, her comments got kind of lost under the shuffle. But yeah, we're gonna see. Yeah, I would definitely like to speak with Tavea as well.
For Reed Brimhall, Mrs. Marconi agreed to speak on the record for her own statements. She told EBN that Reed Brimhall represented himself to her as the majority shareholder or the majority owner. Mrs. Marconi had an hour-and-a-half-long interview with Nick, and here is that moment in their interview.
I don't have proof that Reed owns 60%, but he told me he owns more than 60%.
Okay. Oh, he told you himself. Okay.
Yes.
So that is Mrs. Marconi's account. We are not saying that we have independently proven Reed Brimhall is the majority owner. We are saying that an on-the-record former manager who worked for Reed told EBN that Reed represented himself that way to her. And that is why we asked Reed Brimhall directly. We also spoke with a source with close ties to Bricks and Minifigs. That source told EBN that veteran franchises have corroborated the majority shareholder claim. Again, that does not turn the claim into a public record fact. But it does mean that that information is not based on random internet comments or internet speculation. It is coming from people who, according to our reporting, have direct or close ties to the BAM system. Here is what...
See, and that would make you think, right? So, if Reed's going around telling people that, and it's not true, you know, I'm wondering what implications that could have on this whole thing. But not just that, it's just like, at the same time, I don't see why you would go around telling people that if it wasn't true either. What would you gain by saying that? Maybe to flex, maybe to just make it seem like you have a much more important role at the company?
John, some people lie just for the sake of lying.
Yeah, that's that too. That's the other thing that obviously comes into it, right?
Sometimes people just lie for no fucking reason when it doesn't even matter. I knew a swan named John who lied for something that really wouldn't have hurt him.
Yep, that guy. Yes, we remember his lies. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, thinking about it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just wondering why. Dumb. Yeah, why he would represent himself as having more stakes if that's not factually correct on paper, which for all we know it could be, right? It could. So
could be.
We got to keep that in mind.
Oh, we still don't know. Does Reed Brimhall own shares directly? Does he own shares through another entity? Does he have majority ownership? Does he have voting control? What is the parent entity referenced in the FDD? And who has final authority over litigation, board changes, franchisee communication, and reform? Those are questions, not conclusions. But this is where BAM's own public statement matters. BAM has publicly said that trust needs to be rebuilt, and its statement points to broader questions involving the franchise model, governance, legal strategy, and communication. So if BAM is asking the public, franchisees, and customers to trust that meaningful reforms are coming, then ownership and decision-making authority become fair questions. Not accusations, fair questions. Now, before we go any further, this is where the right to respond process matters. We have contacted Reed Brimhall directly, and he responded. We have also contacted Bricks and Minifigs Corporate. Nick has been tracking that outreach, and he's going to walk you through exactly what has happened.
Before publishing this report, we reached out to Reed Brimhall directly. Reed responded and asked us to send him specific questions. So we did. In that email, we asked Reed to clarify questions involving his role with BAM franchising, the ownership structure, whether he has majority or controlling ownership, the parent entity referenced in the FDD, and who has final decision-making authority inside BAM. Reed did respond and said, "Thanks for sending this. Let me study it a bit and I'll get back to you tomorrow." His response.
Wow. Wow.
Well, these are actually these are a lot of questions. Yeah. Do you do you remember when we were trying to get on West Most onto our channel with Crow? And then I emailed him like these questions that Crow sent, and he was like he was so pissed at Crow because his questions were like so rude. Do you remember that? And then what is it? Yeah, we sent like two separate, and then Crow's like, "Oh well, I thought you would just like edit it for me to not sound like a dick." And I'm like, "You what? I didn't know you wanted me to do that. I just copy pasted." And the guy was so pissed. He's like, "These questions are fucking absurd."
I vaguely, yeah.
Oh man,
that's so funny. No, but it's interesting though. I get the feeling, I haven't seen this video, by the way, Chad. It's the first time watching the video. I get the sense that Nick and Coach never got a response back from Reed Brimhall after that. I get the feeling that good.
No, I'll let the video finish before I say it. Go ahead.
Okay. Am I wrong?
No, it's not about that. It's not about that.
Okay. All right.
This is important. It shows Reed received the questions. It shows he understood we were asking for specifics, and it shows he indicated he would review them. But as of our production of this video deadline, we had not received answers to the ownership and
of course, yeah, of course, yeah, of course, he wasn't going to respond. You know,
exactly.
Control questions submitted for this report. That is what,
and that again, that makes me want like, okay, that'd be an easy question to answer, right? Yes or no, right? It's just like, yeah, I do own a majority share, or I don't. It's like, or hey, it's not like. Or even some kind of explanation, like maybe it's a little bit more complicated than that, right? Maybe he could have answered like that. Well, this is, I do own majority shares, but this is how that works, and blah, blah, blah. I explained it. Nothing. So that makes me wonder if Reed over here was just lying to Flex, you know, to some of these people to make it seem like he had a more important role in the company. Because you would think, why not answer that, right?
this is not.
It's not like, or maybe again, let's say the only reason I could see him, the only other reason I could see for him to not answer the question is to protect himself from criticism, right? To protect himself from getting completely destroyed. Maybe he sees what's happening to Ammon and Ammon, or Ammon, however you pronounce it. He sees all this happening there, and he's like, well, I don't want that to happen to me. I'm just not going to say shit. But if that, you know, for that, I don't see, you probably shouldn't have ever answered to begin with, right? You should have just stayed quiet, I guess, the entire time.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, yeah, I'll look it over and then I'll respond, and then not respond. It's just like, it's not a good look either way. So it's like, the only reason, like I said, I could see it if he is a majority share owner, right? Is that maybe he's just like, well, fuck, if I say yes, the fuck, like he sees what's happening to Amen, and he's like, I don't want that. So I gotta go. And he's just,
I was like, yeah, because majority share owners, like when the company suffers, don't they feel that the most?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't think he wants to put more damage onto a company that he has the most money.
That's, like I said, that's the only other reason I can think of for him to not, either he lied, right, and completely misrepresented his position and doesn't want to say that because it makes him look stupid, or he's just not answering because he's like, well, shit, if I say yes, you know, I'm gonna get the Amen treatment. I'll probably get the Amen. Even though I haven't said anything publicly, I don't want that kind of a backlash, and I don't want to deal with that shit right now.
Could you imagine if he's the mastermind, like he's the Sidious and Amon's the Count Dookie? Like, could you imagine that?
That'd be wild.
That would be some shit.
That would be. Yeah, that if he's the true Sith Lord behind it all. That'd be some shit, man.
And just like, Amen, you fool. Like,
kill him. But then
like,
again,
you know,
it would make sense the way he's handling it, right? Like, Amen, I'll just like, you know, how what happened to Dooku in the what was it?
It's Dookie. He's Count Dookie.
Yeah.
Oh, you're referring to the real one. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, kill him, Anakin.
That's exactly what I was. Yeah,
but he's
that's
just
exactly what I'm talking about.
So he's probably but except of Anakin, it's like Ben. He's like, kill him, Ben.
Yeah.
Take his place at my side.
Fucking do it.
Strike him down.
Yeah, for real.
Take his
Amon's
place
mustache.
at my side.
Amon's mustache is crying, and not his fucking eye. You know, like fucking, it's crazy, bro. I get to see him like, that's not what you said.
Yeah, either that or he does it to Matt McNeff. He's like, strike your brother down. Take his place at my side.
Yeah.
An ambush. If there's a simple explanation, we want to hear it. If there's missing context, we want to include it. And if Reed responds after publication of this, we will review that response and update our audience where appropriate. We also reached out to BAM Corporate on July 9th. EBN sent a detailed email to BAM Corporate Media and Legal Response Team. That email asked for clarification on issues involving Darren Hicks, franchise operations, store resales and transfers, franchise support, corporate decision-making, store closures, turnover, and alleged breach or default situations. The response deadline for that was July 13th. At the time of this publication, BAM Corporate has not responded to any of those either. So Reed Brimhall and BAM Corporate were both given an opportunity to respond before publication. And up to this point, we've gotten nothing else from them.
There is one more piece of context. The Bricks and Minifigs PR statement was posted on the night of July 10th. That very same night, EBN posted a video covering that statement and raising many questions. After that, EBN was provided screenshots that appear to come from an internal BAM-related Slack discussion. If you've not heard of the Slack system, that is the communication device used within Bricks and Minifigs. It allows franchises to communicate all the way up to the corporate office. We're not showing names or channel details or anything that could identify our source, but the screenshots appear to show an internal BAM-related discussion about EBN's coverage of the PR statement and the media request we had sent. One message shared with us appears to indicate that questions EBN sent to or about corporate staff were not expected to receive answers. Now, we want to be very clear. We cannot independently confirm whether those screenshots represent official BAM policy. We cannot independently confirm if every person in that discussion had final decision-making authority. But the screenshots are relevant because they appear to show that EBN's coverage, our media request, and the questions we sent were being discussed inside a BAM-related internal communication. And as of our production deadline, that media request has not been answered. This scorecard is not a verdict. It is a tracker. We can document Reed's CFO role. We could document the Boise store connection. We can point to a public article describing him as part owner and CFO. And we can report that sources raised the majority shareholder claim. We cannot independently verify majority ownership or voting control through the records we have reviewed. BAM says trust needs to be rebuilt, but based on the unanswered ownership questions, the unanswered media request, and the lack of clarification on who has decision-making authority, that trust rebuilding has not yet been demonstrated, and that is why ownership transparency remains unanswered. So here's the big question. Since BAM has publicly indicated that it is prioritizing rebuilding trust through honesty, accountability, and transparency, doesn't it seem appropriate for franchisees, customers, and the public to know who actually has control of BAM franchising? If the public is questioning decisions coming from the CEO, from corporate leadership, from the corporate office, shouldn't they also know who has the power to make changes necessary to restore confidence and rebuild public trust? And if customers, franchisees, and just viewers in general are questioning decisions made under BAM's current leadership, including CEO Ammon McNeff, then isn't it fair to ask a basic governance question? Who does the CEO answer to? That is why owner transparency matters. This isn't just about names on a paper. It's about power, it's about accountability, and whether all of these promised reforms that BAM has talked about is backed by real authority. Many viewers following this controversy have argued that BAM probably needs more than the 7 things they say they are going to improve in the latest PR statement. If that's true, then this whole question becomes even more important. Who is really in charge? And in part 2 of the BAM Files, we continue our investigation with the next important question in this series. How does the money actually move? Part 2 will feature documents, analysis, insider reports, and more interviews conducted by EBN. Episode 1 is about ownership and control. Episode 2 is about the system put in place beneath it. In part 2 of the BAM Files, we follow the money.
Nice. Great job. Great job by...
Yeah, they do such great work. They do really good work.
They're doing fantastic work over there. Let me go ahead and link their video here in the chat. For those of you who want to see what that's
This video is the reason they got a privacy complaint.
Yes.
Strike, whatever it was.
Yeah, I see that they have a video talking about that. But that's wild, man. It's like, they've been doing great work over there. So they did an investigate video also that I want to look at here.
Yeah, John. Yeah.
What? No,
I just like how you're like.
I'm looking for it.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
no, I'm looking for it real quick.
Yeah,
Just give me
you're
one
good.
sec. Here we go. All right, there we go. So we have this here. We're going to go over this right quick.
In episode 1 of the BAM Files, we asked one of the biggest questions surrounding Bricks and Minifigs. Who really is in charge of BAM franchising? That episode...
So real quick, let me see. There's ways to argue against it. I mean, there's ways to dispute it. But a lot of times what people do to make it easier is that they'll either cut something out of a video, out of the audio. They'll blur something. But the thing is, if there was no real privacy violation, because all that, I'm pretty sure it doesn't look like. It looks like their video is fine. It doesn't look like anything is. Whoever had seen the original video, is that the original video? Does it look like they cut anything out? Because it doesn't appear to me that they blurred anything or potentially cut anything out. So the thing is,
so in response to it, they just made a Patreon, and they're going to be like, doing stuff with Patreon, as far as I know. I don't know if they've altered it at all, and I don't know who is responsible for that privacy complaint either. They actually make a video addressing it, so they don't want you to kind of just go around blaming anybody, essentially. Just throwing that out there.
The thing is, when it comes to, that's the thing, like when it comes to privacy complaints, the unfortunate thing about privacy complaints is just the person, the subject matter of the video doesn't even have to be the one to do it. They can be filed by anybody, which is unfortunate. That's one of the broken things about YouTube. Is that anybody can file a privacy complaint on a video. So it could have been just somebody just trolling, somebody that just doesn't like Echo-based network. It didn't necessarily have to be somebody at Bricks and Minifigs. It could have actually just been a random person just to mess with them. So,
however, they have made lots of coverage about the current, what do you call it? The CEO of Bricks and Minifigs. They've made coverage about Ammon, Josh, all this stuff. And ironically, they just happen to get one now when they were talking about certain something. But I'm not pointing blame. I just find it very
the timing is
ironic timing.
The timing is very convenient because again, they're obviously on BAM's radar now.
Yep.
So
that's all I'm going to say.
Focused heavily on Reed Brimhall, his role, his influence, and the unanswered questions surrounding his connection to BAM. But today, this is not episode 2. This is a BAM Files special report. And the reason? A new name has entered the investigation. Taylor Legacy LLC. I know I'm not pronouncing it the way that it appears, but that is how you pronounce it. Taylor Legacy LLC is an Idaho company connected to Reed Brimhall. And according to a former Boise Bricks and Minifigs manager, the company that owned that store wrote her paychecks and ran the operation. And now EBN has been provided with a check from January of 2025 from Taylor Legacy LLC. And that check was made out to the former manager. Now, all of this goes back to what we discussed in our opening.
I think he was telling us about that a little bit.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, he did mention it.
Segment of the BAM Files, the language found in the FDD that mentions the franchisor's parent. Who is the parent company that's above Bricks and Minifigs, if there is in fact one? The FDD mentions a franchisor's parent, but it doesn't explain who that is. To be clear,
it's not too late. So hopefully, hopefully that's not jinxing it. But I think that they would. I think they would if. Because that's the thing. I'm not above, trying to hit them up either. So if
is that the Parrot Head? Are you the Parrot Head, or is your name just happen to be Parrot Head? Sorry, I had to ask. If that's Parrot Head, how are you? It's been such a long time. But if not, that's a coincidence. I knew a guy named Parrot Head who used to watch our stuff.
Well,
sorry.
We're not saying that we have the proof that Taylor Legacy LLC.
I'm pretty sure that there's a short list of creators on here that BAM is aware of, you know what I mean? And they probably prioritize them based on what they deem as, threat. You know what I mean? Like who would be the biggest threat. So I'm not sure what we would fall on that if they're even aware of us. I mean, if they are, well, then it is what it is. I mean, what can we do? I mean, we're not going to stop talking about what's been going on in the public space. So, I'm not going to be taking any videos down or anything like that. So like I said, if they try to take some of our videos down, obviously you all will know about it. So
parent company. But we're asking a very simple question that BAM should probably consider answering. If Taylor Legacy LLC is not the parent company, then who is? Before we get into the FDD language, we need to talk about the name itself. Taylor. It's actually a Welsh word, and the Welsh word means family. EBN had 3 different sources with direct ties to Bricks and Minifigs reach out and tell us about this LLC. All 3 of them told me that Taylor is a Welsh word that means family, and a simple Google search corroborated that. Now the second word, legacy, not legacy, legacy. Root word Lego, also a play on words, legacy.
Yeah.
Now that's important because it doesn't sound like a random company name. It sounds like a family legacy company. There's another piece of context worth noting. Our friend
like
BJC Live Show recently reported that Evelyn McNeff, the mother.
What's up?
Oh, I thought that was an actor when I first heard the name, like some fucking foreign actor, like Bela Lugosi, who played Dracula. That's what I went to. I was like, Tela Lugosi? Like, fucking what?
It's like, that would have been an interesting reference, right? Gotta would have, I guess, Reed Brimhall would have been showing his age.
They act like vampires. They act like vampires.
Yep, and Reed Brimhall would have been showing his age there. So, this is interesting. A family connection overview. Evelyn McNeff and Reed Brimhall are second cousins, and they share the same grandparents. Interesting. Same paternal grandfather, same paternal grandmother. So that's the connection between the Brimhalls and the McNeffs. Their family.
Explains why he didn't
Ammon
respond.
and Matthew McNeff also has the same grandparents as Reed Brimhall, and the 2 of them happen to be second cousins. Taylor Legacy. We're not making this video about anybody's family personally. The point is this. Taylor Legacy appears to point toward a family, but it also points toward Lego and legacy. When that company shows up connected to Reed Brimhall, the Boise Bricks and Minifigs store, and the same address in BAM's FDD, it becomes part of the story.
Now take the name Taylor Legacy and put it beside BAM's own FDD. In one place, the 2026 FDD says there are no parents or predecessors required to be disclosed. But later in that same document, Reed Brimhall is listed as CFO of the franchisor and the franchisor's parent. Now, guys, that phrase jumps off the page to me because once the document says franchisor's parent, the next question is obvious. What parent? Is that just standard language? Is there an entity behind BAM franchising that is not being clearly identified? Is it connected to Reed Brimhall, or is it connected to another company entirely? As of right now, we just don't know the answer yet. But that phrase is exactly why we kept digging. And that search led us back to Taylor Legacy.
Taylor Legacy LLC is an Idaho company. The public records connect it to Reed Brimhall. They list Reed as the registered agent, and the company is tied to 10150 West Fairview Avenue in Boise, Idaho. That address is the part that we need to make a note of. 10150 West Fairview Avenue, because that same address shows up again in BAM's FDD. In the 2026 FDD, BAM lists the Boise Bricks and Minifigs location at that same address under Reed Brimhall. And the FDD says that location is owned and operated by an entity in which BAM CFO is an owner. So now we have Taylor Legacy tied to that address. We also have a Boise Bricks and Minifigs store tied to that address. And we have Reed Brimhall tied to both.
Now, the timeline's important. Taylor Legacy appears in Idaho records in 2015. That same year, Idaho Business Review reported that Taylor Legacy leased more than 3,000 square feet at 10150 West Fairview Avenue in Boise. Then, year after year, the Idaho annual reports continue showing the Fairview Avenue connection. And by the time we get to BAM's 2026 FDD, that same Boise address is listed for the Bricks and Minifigs location, connected to Reed Brimhall. Now, of course, that does not magically make Taylor Legacy the parent company of BAM. We're not saying that. But it does make Taylor Legacy a company that cannot be ignored in this story. And then we spoke with somebody that worked inside that Boise store.
Tavia Marconi has returned for another on-the-record interview. She is the former manager at the Boise store location. She worked directly for Reed Brimhall.
Tulu is actually a Welsh word. Reed is Welsh, and it means family. And it's for the family legacy. So it's their legacy. That is the company that owns the Boise store. And that is the company that wrote my paychecks, and all of the everything was run for the Boise store out of that company.
After that interview, Ms. Marconi provided EBN with a copy of a January 2025 check made out to her from Taylor Legacy, LLC. The check lists Taylor Legacy at 10150 West Fairview Avenue in Boise, the same address we have been tracking through the Idaho records and BAM's FDD. That does not prove that Taylor Legacy is the parent company, but it does corroborate a key part of Ms. Marconi's statement. Taylor Legacy was not just a name filing. It was the company issuing her paychecks. And that makes the Taylor Legacy question even harder for BAM to ignore. This is the part where we need to slow down a little bit because it would be easy to overstate this.
Exactly. We are not saying case closed, Taylor Legacy is the parent. We do not have a document that says Taylor Legacy owns BAM franchising. We do not have a stock ledger. We do not have a corporate ownership chart. We do not have a signed statement from BAM identifying Taylor Legacy as the parent company. But we do have enough to ask why this company keeps showing up around Reed Brimhall, the Boise store, payroll evidence, and the same address BAM lists in the FDD.
And that brings us back to the phrase that started this entire thing, franchisor's parent.
Now, once again, before publishing this report, EBN contacted BAM, Reed Brimhall, Eamon, and Matt McNeff for comment. As of our production deadline, yet again, we had not received a response. If they do respond, though, we will review it and update the audience accordingly.
So here's the evidence board right now. BAM's FDD uses the phrase franchisor's parent. Taylor Legacy is an Idaho LLC connected to Reed Brimhall. Taylor Legacy is tied to 10150 West Fairview Avenue in Boise. BAM's FDD lists the Boise Bricks and Minifigs location at 10150 West Fairview Avenue. The FDD says that Boise location is owned and operated by an entity in which BAM CFO is an owner. A former Boise store manager told EBN that Taylor Legacy owned that store, wrote her paychecks, and ran the operation. That same former manager provided EBN with a January 2025 check from Taylor Legacy LLC listing the same Fairview Avenue address. And BJC Live Show has reported a family relationship between Reed Brimhall and the McNeff family. That's the board, that's the trail, and that's why BAM needs to answer the question plainly. If Taylor Legacy is not the parent, then who is?
Now, there are two mistakes people can make with a story like this. The first mistake is to overclaim it and say we have proven something we have not proven. We are not going to do that. The second mistake is to ignore the paper trail because the final document has not surfaced yet. We are not going to do that either. This is exactly how investigations work. You follow the records, you compare the addresses, you check the FDD, you talk to sources, you ask the company for comment, and when a source says a company wrote her paychecks and then provides a check from that company, you add that to the record and keep asking questions. Now, this is completely speculative on my part, but with all of this clues and dots and connecting these dots and seeing all this, me personally, in my opinion, everything is pointing to Taylor Legacy as the parent company. In my mind, in my opinion, again, we don't have any proof of that, but it's kind of fishy.
Maybe BAM has a simple explanation.
See, and the thing is, we know that from the stuff with Josh and with Ammon, that, oh, Steve's in the chat. What up, Steve?
Yeah. Oh, what's up, Steve Alive?
You should shoot him the link. You should shoot him the link if he wants to join us. But from what we've seen with Eamon and with Josh, right, and how they've managed to do tricky stuff with their companies, right, with their LLCs and things like that. Because remember, when Ben tried to sue Josh in Oregon, and some of those cases were dismissed, the reason for that, and people were saying that Ben was lying, but remember, at the time, he could only go by the information that he had, and some of those LLCs were not good, right? But they were LLCs that were on record that were tied to Josh and stuff like that, but they weren't the right LLCs or whatever, right? But it's what he could find at the time. So he was under the impression that they were legitimate, at least at the time that he filed those suits, right? Those small claims. So to me, if this whole thing with Tele Legacy, if it's a bigger thing, these guys would absolutely know how to cover their tracks in terms of those records being public, right? They would probably know a way to cover their tracks pretty well, right? To I'm sure eventually there's going to be something where people can probably look them up, right? People, if they're out there to be found, they're going to be found by somebody. But it's interesting though that there's so much mystery behind this particular company. So I would assume that they've probably found a way to just cover their tracks, but I think eventually that's information that's going to be found, or maybe they'll just do it. Maybe at some point they'll just say, "Screw it, let's just tell them what it is, whatever."
Well, like, what are the chances of remember we were talking about, they're just gonna have to sell or not even be the CEO of the company anymore and stuff like that. Like, what are the chances of that now? Like, look how deeper this is, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it really begs the question of what exactly it is, right? Limited liability criminals, right? At this point, yeah.
That is funny. That's a good one.
Yeah, that is pretty good. But I think that again, but it also, if you think about it, it seems almost it's a double-edged sword, right? Because if they cop to it and they say that it is the parent company, obviously that's more questions that are going to be asked. And it's like, okay, why didn't you guys disclose that before? And what are you hiding? And they're just going to continue to dig deeper. And maybe and that's the thing. There's stuff that they probably don't want to be found.
Well, the fact that I already forgot his name. The guy, the
Reed
fucking
Brimhall?
guy. Yes, thank you. I was going to say Ted Murthal, and that's not him at all.
Anyway,
yeah. Like fucking look at how he's already like, send me the questions, I'll go over them. And then nothing.
Yeah, and then went quiet.
Why?
And, yeah,
why bother?
Exactly. Because if it should be a pretty simple question to answer, but again, we're just speculating on it, right? Maybe there is more to it. Maybe he is a majority share owner. Maybe not. Maybe he just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to look like a fool. It could be a bunch of things. It could be like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
And now it's just coming back to bite him in the ass, or maybe it's true, and he just doesn't want to catch any heat, right? Because he sees all the shit that's happening in the public space, and he's probably like, shit, I probably shouldn't have even answered these guys' initial email. They're digging too deep. They're digging too deep. So
we've seen too much.
Show a company to play shell games. Yeah, maybe, right? Can't dismiss the possibility. So many offshores and use up you for money laundering. You never know. Again, we can't say with any kind of certainty, but you never know. You never know.
Thank you anyway.
Maybe Tele Legacy is only connected to the store in Boise, Idaho, and it has nothing to do with the parent language written in the FDD. But if that's the answer, then BAM can say that. If you missed our opening video of the BAM files, please go check out part 1, where we took a deep look at answering the question, who is really in charge at BAM?
And this is also why episode 2 of the BAM files is going to follow the money.
The BAM files will continue.
Another great video by them. I'll also link this one, but I'm sure by now, I mean, most everybody in the chat is probably sub Echo base and has seen this stuff. It's fascinating.
It is.
So, man, I wish I could just, be online all day looking for information stuff. I would love to investigate stuff like this.
Our first episode of the BAM Files, where we're doing an investigation on Bricks and Minifigs, BAM Franchising Inc. The first episode looked at who might be actually in charge at that company. Well, that video just received a complaint on YouTube. We're not saying we know who it is, but we are saying the timing is very sus.
Very convenient.
This literally reminds me of the funny meme. goes around on the internet all the time. That I'm sure everybody knows about, and this is it right here. If you guys ever watch that show, Ancient Aliens on the History Channel, I'm not saying aliens, but it was aliens.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
Knowledge.
I think his name is, if I'm not mistaken, I think his name is like Georgios Socralos or something like that. He's got like a Greek name.
Tell you what's happening.
Yeah.
We've gotten great feedback here on the channel about our mini-series. We did a special report the other day. People are really liking those videos. Thank you to the people who have watched and given us good feedback. We got way more coming about bricks and minifigs. Episode 2 will be launching here in the next 2 to 3 days. We'll let you know when that is dropping. And in the meantime, we're making videos like this one. We want you guys to be aware of exactly what is happening. So here's what we're going to do first. We received a privacy complaint from the YouTube legal team. Okay. From the YouTube legal team. And it gives us the timestamps to go look at. It's episode 1 of the BAM files. There is a gentleman that is mentioned in that video. And for the purposes of this video, I'm going to call him Breed Rimhole.
Rimhole.
We might refer to him as
Ted Bernthal.
I don't know. But Breed Rimhole. And here's what we want to know, or what we want you guys to know moving forward.
Captain Transparency is his new name. So you know, Bricks and Minifigs is talking about, you know, gaining trust back, being
honest, forthright,
honest, accountable, transparent, you know, all this stuff. You know, and again, like the funny meme I showed, I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens. We're not saying that anybody from Bricks and Minifigs sent in this privacy strike, because we don't know who sent it. But the timing is weird, you know, and we looked at the timestamps, and everything we have used is all public. Anybody can go out.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like I said, if it's publicly available information, you don't really have to change anything. But I mean, there's sometimes that YouTube is weird because it'll enforce dumb shit sometimes. So, you know, you could dispute it, but if like the other party is not satisfied with that, they could still like, you know, they could still try to take your video down and things like that. It's a weird, the privacy complaint thing is one of the weird ones here on the platform. And like I said, the thing that sucks about privacy complaints is it doesn't even necessarily have to be the person in the video. Somebody else could just privacy, you know, false privacy complaint your video just to, you know, have it taken down briefly.
Out there and find all this stuff, other than the statements provided to us on the record by ex-store manager that Captain Transparency runs.
The thing is, people still do it. You'd be surprised. There's ways around that. Like, it doesn't have to be the direct party involved. I've seen it's happened to a lot of people I know. That's why those ones don't end up lasting at all, because obviously, you know, you're not going to try to back anything up if you're not actually the person that it's affecting, right? There's no way for you to really back it up. But privacy complaints, it's one of the shadier ways that people can use YouTube's flagging system, unfortunately.
You know,
nothing we did in that video is in violation of the YouTube policy standards on privacy.
Yeah, no addresses, no phone numbers.
Except one thing, except for one legitimate thing, which we actually think we will.
Yeah, that's why people create burners all the time, just to do stuff like that, to mess with people. That's why, like, it looks like their video was put back up pretty quick after it got privacy complaint on it, because that like I said, people abuse the system all the time. It sucks, but it happens.
Will win.
Yeah,
we're getting hit. We assume we're getting hit because we used his image.
Yeah,
seriously. Like somebody, like if you use somebody's image in a YouTube video, they could hit you with a privacy complaint.
To answer this real quick, yes. If there is people that if they spam report a video, YouTube will look at that. I mean, obviously YouTube will know after investigating that they'll know that it's BS, but sometimes, yeah, if somebody with a lot of time, with the VPN and a lot of time decides to, spam report a video, sometimes YouTube is quick to act and it'll come down temporarily. But once they find out it's bullshit, it's usually, it's pretty easy to resolve. But yeah, stuff like that can happen too.
Nothing else in our video is there's no personal addresses or anything like that. And the truth is we're being very careful with how we report these things.
Yeah.
Here's the message that we got. Hi, Echo-Based Network. We would like to inform you that we have received a privacy concern about your content. Before we review the content, we would like to give you an opportunity to review it and, if necessary, modify or remove any potentially private information within the reported content. Receiving this notice does not imply a violation of YouTube privacy guidelines. No action has been taken against your content or channel at this time. Please find below the list of the reported video timestamps. Please note that the violation may also occur at other timestamps. So 349 and 557. If you guys will go watch between 349 and about 6 minutes and 15 seconds, you want to go a little bit past the timestamp and probably a little bit before, go 330 to 615.
Yeah.
And if you watch that, the only thing that you will see that could be said to be in violation of their privacy standards is that we actually used an image of the man. So as we have already indicated, moving forward, we will be showing this image of none other than Mr. Captain Transparency. That is what we will do moving forward, and everybody will just know that is who we're talking about. So our video doesn't get unjustifiably. And we're not saying that he did it. We're just saying in case he did it or if anybody else has a problem with it. Now, we'll say this too, Nick. If we legitimately do violate the privacy standards, and if we are ever told which one that is, we'll gladly take care of that. That is, we will play by YouTube's rules 100%. Okay?
Yeah.
What we won't do is play to the rules of a corporation that
or bullies
tries to bully and intimidate, if in fact that is what is happening, and we're not saying that it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and these images that we use are all public images. You could literally do a Google search and find, everybody on the internet can find these images. So we don't believe that YouTube is going to find anything wrong with our video whatsoever, and they shouldn't, because again, all this stuff, the vast majority of it is all stuff that you can go out there and find yourselves. We did it. We found it all on our own. So,
So here's something that's really important that we say this and that we hear it. So we got the complaint. We've been very careful. We're not saying that it was Bricks and Minifigs. We're not saying that it was Captain Transparency or anyone connected to them. It wasn't even Tallulah. Okay. But the timing is interesting because in episode 1 and our follow-up video to that, the special report that we just released the other day, we asked some very hard questions about ownership, about control, about influence within that corporation.
Yeah.
And now this happens. And I wonder if this is happening to other content creators on YouTube. I bet it probably is. I bet.
Of course, yeah. The one thing, here's the one thing too. When complaints like this come through, and a video gets temporarily taken down, it basically kills it in the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
It kills the momentum that it has in the algorithm. So it could be somebody over there that's aware of that, knowing that okay, well, let's hamstring it a little bit by doing this. Not saying for sure, Could be. It could just be somebody that just doesn't like Echo Base Network too. But yeah, that's the thing that sucks. When something like this happens, it completely kills the momentum of the video. So like it already got a good amount of views on it, their Reed Brimhall video. But let me just show you guys real quick, right? Let me just show you guys this real quick. So let's bring up Echo Base's channel real quick. So you see, where's that video? The Reed Brimhall video is here, 23K views. Now it could be just because, the news here, right, was a little bit, maybe that was of more interest to people. But this video probably could have gotten around that same amount of views, maybe more, depending. But it's probably just gonna stay around this range. It could end up getting picked up again. I mean, sometimes, YouTube videos go through kind of like a second wind kind of thing where they resurge, but it probably would have gotten way more views than this had that privacy complaint not been filed on their channel.
And if somebody bigger goes over it and shouts it out, they'll probably put it back.
Yeah,
on track.
it could put it back on track. So, but it's still good. It's still a good amount of views. Don't get me wrong. They still got a good amount of views on it, but it could have potentially gotten more. That's the thing that sucks when stuff like that happens. So, let me go back to the video we were just watching.
We're not alone, but it could say something, don't you think? Like I don't want to say it right here. I mean, you guys tell me, you tell me what that could mean.
Yeah.
Please do. Yeah. The comments are going to be interesting.
So when a privacy complaint, just to answer, so when a privacy complaint happens, it just kind of, it takes your video down.
They take it down and tell you later that they took it down.
Yeah, they take it down and then you get told later they get taken down, but it's been restored. It's already been restored, and it looks like they didn't have to really censor out anything because obviously they knew that the claim, that the privacy complaint was BS, right? It didn't violate YouTube's privacy complaint. But basically, like I said, what it does is that it completely kills the video in the algorithm, right? It doesn't show up for people. It's a pain in the ass. It's something that, unfortunately, like I said, it's one of those things with the YouTube flagging system, which needs a huge overhaul because that's not the only problem. Not just the privacy complaint stuff. There's a lot of stuff within YouTube's claim system and flagging system. They used to have a big problem before with companies claiming music that didn't belong to them so that they could get a little bit of ad revenue off of a video, right? They would try to claim music that wasn't even necessarily copyrighted. I remember there was a problem for a little while where there was royalty-free music that was getting copyrighted claimed by companies that didn't even own the music. It was wild. Yeah, just because, again, people try to find a way to abuse it so that they could try to get some ad revenue or what have you. But with stuff like a privacy complaint, things like that, that's just an underhanded way to try to kill kill a video in the algorithm so it doesn't get as much attention. It doesn't get pushed through there, completely kills its momentum. So, Rachel, yeah, I know that they've been doing it to other creators as well too. When I say they, I can't say Bricks and Minifigs for sure, right? But again, there's been other creators, unfortunately, that have been talking about this that have been hit. So
just refer to them as the Flaggets, like you always do.
The Flaggets, yes.
Mm-hmm. JC Live Shows covered our video on this. Lego Empires covered our video on this. I've seen several other channels cover our video on this. The thing is, and if I was in a position of Captain Transparency or any of these corporate people at Bricks and Minifigs, the thing is, once it's out on the internet, it's out on the internet.
Yep.
You trying to get it taken down, removed, all that sort of stuff just makes it look even worse on you.
Yep.
Because
if that's what's happening. if that's what's happening.
If that's what's happening. So I don't know who else.
We gotta play it safe, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Base hits, Nick, not home runs. Base hits.
Yeah, I don't know who else would have put in this privacy complaint.
Well, it could be anybody.
Yeah,
it could be anybody.
Yeah.
YouTube doesn't tell you that.
Yeah, maybe my brother did it. I think he watched the video. He was probably like, I don't like them using this dude's image.
It was my granny. She passed away in like 97, but it was her. Okay. Look, we got to say this. Please do not harass, contact, threaten, dox, or speculate about who filed the complaint. Keep the conversation focused on the evidence.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that sucks. Yeah, you just kind of have to take it. Because again, because you don't get that information, you could assume, you could speculate as to who it might have been, but there's no way of knowing for sure. Like I said, for all we know, it could have just been somebody that doesn't like Echo Base Network. They just wanted to mess with them, right? Could be somebody that's loyal to Bricks and Minifigs, a fan out there that's just like, I'll show these guys.
I did it for you, Ted. And there was no Ted.
I did it for you, Ted. Yep.
Yeah.
But let's go on to the money trail one, because I'm really interested to see what they found in regards to that. So this is, I guess, part 2 of the series here.
Episode 1 of the BAM Files asked a simple question. Who is Reed Brimhall, and what level of influence and control does he actually have within the company? Since this entire controversy has erupted, the public has been wanting to know who is the person who should be held most accountable, and it might not be the CEO, Ammon McNeff. In today's episode, we're going to go straight to the money. We take a deep look inside BAM franchising and how the company generates revenue, and the documents raise a serious question. Can BAM generate revenue even when individual franchisees are not profitable? What kind of impact, if any, does a boycott on local BAM franchises have on the corporation? Because once you start reading the FDDs, the financial statements, the store movement, and BAM's public recruiting material, this story becomes much bigger than the Bricks and Minifigs versus Reckless Ben lawsuit. BAM exploded, and today we are analyzing how. So here are 2 questions at the center of today's episode. How does the franchisor generate so much revenue from this system? And how exactly does the current system allow the franchisor to keep benefiting financially, even when local store owners struggle, transfer, leave, or stay silent? Today we follow the money and the silence.
I like the epic music. Love it. Love it.
Before we get into the money, we need to look at the concern behind this video. It's called franchise churning. In the franchise world, churning is the concern that a franchisor may benefit when locations are repeatedly sold, transferred, reacquired, or replaced, while individual franchisees absorb the losses. That is the concern being raised by people like The Last Relic and Chrystal Gorman. So that's the question. Do you think that that term fits what you have kind of experienced, in your opinion?
I believe at this point we'll decline to comment on that.
We can say that our personal experience is consistent with what is described when people describe the experience of a franchisee who experiences franchise churn.
Fair.
But we can only speak to our experience.
Their stories do not prove franchise churning by themselves, but they are exactly the kind of stories that put this question on
pattern of behavior, John.
Transfer is not automatically suspicious.
Yep, which we've talked about at length here on this channel. Yep.
You see it coming full circle. I like they put the cycle.
Yeah, I think it's just, maybe for the next stream we should go over the plastic pallets suit just to see if there's similarities. See what similarities they might share with Chrystal and with Relic. And maybe to a lesser extent the Messers. What do you think about that, chat? You guys want us to go over the plastic pallets lawsuit? Because I have it. I have the I have that filing. So, just put 1 for yes, 2 for no if you guys are interested in seeing that for the next stream. Maybe we'll we'll do a multi-part stream on that, looking that over and see if there's anything there that's consistent.
Retire, people sell, businesses change hands. But when a franchise system like BAM can generate money when a store opens, when it operates, when it transfers, when a new owner comes in, when training happens again, and when the brand keeps expanding, the public has a right to ask, who
I like how they did that too. That little graph there.
wins when stores lose? And that question sends us back to the documents.
When people hear franchise, they usually think about royalties because royalties are really important in a franchise system. But BAM's FDDs show a bigger money trail than just royalty fees. BAM appears to generate revenue at different points in the life of a store. A person buys into the system through a franchise agreement. A new store prepares to open through startup requirements, training, onboarding, grand opening obligations, inventory, and vendor or product-related purchases. Once the store is operating, there are royalties, brand fund fees, advertising obligations, and continuing payments. And when a store changes hands, there can be transfer fees, training fees, resale activity, reacquisition, or a new owner entering the system. The 2026 FDD gives us the newest version of that money trail. According to that document, the total investment to begin operating a Bricks and Minifigs franchise is listed at.
And I've mentioned this before in previous videos. This is how you kind of find out. This is the only way to really find out how to see where they're at financially, how they're doing financially is through these FDD documents, because they're not a publicly traded company. So this is really the only way to kind of get an idea of how they make money, and if they're as profitable as one would think.
$303,500 to $597,500. That includes $40,000 that must be paid to the franchisor or its affiliates. The 2026 FDD also lists an area development option with a single unit investment range of $286,000 to $582,500, a development fee of $25,000 per location, and a minimum of 2 outlets under that area development option. So the story is not just, does BAM make money from royalties? Of course it does. Looking at the FDDs and the company's financials does not prove wrongdoing, but it does reveal a system where BAM can generate revenue when stores open, operate, transfer, and change hands. And that raises the bigger question here. Can the franchisor keep benefiting financially even when local store owners struggle?
BAM's FDD financial statements doesn't tell us exactly how much each individual franchisee pays in royalty, but they do give us the total numbers. And the total numbers include total revenue, royalty fee revenue, franchise fee revenue, advertising fee revenue, product sales, and net income or loss. BAM's total revenue went from about $567,000 in 2020 to about $13.2 million in 2025. That is not normal small business growth. That is explosive growth. Royalty revenue climbed too. Royalty revenue went from about $472,000 to about $5.2 million in 5 years. But here's where it gets more interesting. A source with close ties told EBN that the royalty number may not tell the whole story. According to that source, the 6% monthly royalty is not where they believe BAM's biggest money incentive sits. The source claimed that much of the royalty stream goes towards operating costs and obligations, basically money that helps corporate keep the lights on. So if royalties are not the biggest driver, then the focus shifts back to new franchise agreements, store openings, startup purchases, grand openings, transfers, reacquisitions, and resales. We have not independently verified that exact accounting breakdown, but the larger point belongs on the board. Royalty revenue is not the same thing as profit, and the money trail is more than and much bigger than royalties.
Another layer of the money trail is new store openings. The FDD show not only how many franchised outlets opened, but also what a prospective owner was being told it could cost to get into the system. And those cost estimates climbed dramatically. In the 2023 FDD, the estimated initial investment was about $120,000 to $283,000. By the 2025 FDD, that range was $241,000 to $570,000. In the 2026 FDD, it rose again to about $303,500 to $597,500. At the same time, the system was opening a lot of stores. There were 35 new Bricks and Minifigs outlets in 2023, 75 in 2024, and 67 in 2025, all according to the 2026 FDD. That does not mean BAM received all of that money. A lot of startup investment goes to landlords, fixtures, inventory, staffing, insurance, marketing, and other opening costs. But it shows the scale of capital new franchises were being asked to bring into the system. As of December 31st, 2025, BAM listed 70 franchise agreements signed for outlets not yet open. It also projected 83 new franchised outlets and 1 new company-owned outlet for the next fiscal year.
The 2026 FDD does not hide that there are risks involved. It says franchisees may have to make minimum royalty or advertising fund payments regardless of sales levels. And it says failing to make those payments may result in termination and loss of investment. It also includes a financial condition warning, saying BAM's financial condition calls into question its ability to provide services and support. And it flags unopened franchises as a special risk, because BAM had signed a significant number of franchise agreements with franchisees who had not yet opened their stores. That does not prove that BAM failed its franchisees, but it does prove that BAM's own FDD puts support, financial condition, mandatory payments, and unopened stores directly on the risk board.
That brings us to the store transfers. When someone buys an existing Bricks and Minifigs store, the FDD shows that a transfer fee may be owed to BAM. And over the years, the transfer fee changed a lot. For years, the transfer fee shown in the FDDs was $5,000. Then it moved to $15,000. By the newer FDDs, it was $30,000.
That's fucking crazy. In a matter of just a couple years, how much that jumped. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That is a significant jump.
It's like, what, by 6 times? Like
Yeah.
times 6 that should jump? Start as 5,000, it's 30,000.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
26 FDD adds a $10,000 mandatory training fee. So a store changing hands
On
can
top of
create
that,
a new payment event.
A mandatory training fee on top of that.
Is it
Get
even
the
worth
fuck out
it?
of here.
I'm telling you.
Well, considering, right, that there was some people that didn't have to undergo training, right? Because I think Chrystal, right? Chrystal didn't have to undergo the training.
Yeah.
So, but I guess they
Did Amanda? Is that the training at work? The $10,000 fee? No, I'm just fucking with you.
Remember, Chrystal did say she got the manager training, but she didn't get the franchise the franchise owner training.
Franchisee. Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't get that training.
For BAM franchising, BAM had 6 transfers in 2025. The 2026 FDD also lists former franchisee outcomes, including 7 transferred to new owners, 2 mutual terminations, 1 ceased operation or other reason. A transfer can be normal. A termination can have more than one explanation, and a store ceasing operations does not automatically tell us why. But when the transfer fee rises from $5,000 to $30,000, a $10,000 training fee gets added, and the FDD identifies multiple owner exits or changes. Transfers belong on the money trail. In the 2026 FDD shows transfers are not casual handshakes. BAM approval is required. Amounts due must be paid. The transfer fee must be paid. Training has to be completed. The store may need upgrades to current standards. The existing owner may have to sign a release, and BAM has a right of first refusal.
Now let's talk about corporate-owned and officer-connected stores. The 2026 FDD says BAM ended 2025 with 217 franchised outlets, 6 company-owned or officer-connected outlets, and 223 total outlets. Those 6 company-owned or officer-connected stores were listed in California, Connecticut, Florida, Idaho, Montana, and Utah. Some were operated by entities owned by BAM Franchising Incorporated. Others were connected to BAM officers, including BAM's CTO and CFO.
The 2026 FDD also shows stores being reacquired from franchisees. It lists 2 reacquired in 2023, 2 reacquired in 2024, and 1 reacquired in 2025. That does not prove anything improper, but it does put a clear fact on the board. BAM's own FDD shows store transfers, store reacquisitions, and company-owned or officer-connected locations inside the system. And this is why the public is asking whether sub-stores are being recycled back through the system.
BAM has not been quiet about its incredible growth. In a January 2026 blog post, BAM announced that Bricks and Minifigs had surpassed its 300th store, saying the company had doubled growth in just 2 years. The post said that since 2023, Bricks and Minifigs had opened 150 stores, calling it one of the most accelerated periods of growth in company history. It also included revenue milestones, including a reported $37,301 in a single grand opening day and over $1.7 million for a single store in 2025. Recently, BAM's own PR statement said the company had identified areas that needed improvement, including operational support, franchisee qualifications, mentorship, offboarding, board leadership, and communication. BAM just celebrated rapid expansion in January, but by July, it was publicly explaining what all it needed to improve.
We also reviewed BAM's broader messaging. EBN reviewed 144 BAM blog posts. Based on our categorization, 72 focused on franchise recruiting, franchise ownership, opening a store, or becoming a franchise owner. When we included new store and growth announcements, the number rose to 77 out of 144. The titles tell you what was being sold. There's nothing unusual about a franchise company recruiting franchisees. But when the public-facing message is ownership, expansion, resell, training, support, and rapid growth, it puts more weight on what happened after people bought in. BAM also promoted its franchise model around values and trust. In other public blog posts titled Bricks and Minifigs Core Principles for Franchisees, BAM highlighted the principles of rebuild, reuse, and reimagine. The post framed those principles as central to the company's success and to providing an excellent customer experience. Now that all sounds good, but it creates a fair pressure point. BAM sold the public a values-based franchise model. One of our questions is whether the system behind that model has lived up to the promise.
A source with close ties to BAM told EBN that some current owner concerns existed before the whole reckless bin controversy. Those concerns include communication, owner voice, support, and possible oversaturation. Rapid growth can look...
I mean, we know that from the communication, obviously, from all the videos we've seen, right? Especially the CoffeeZilla video.
Yeah.
The fact that, it's right here, Eamon. I've never seen that.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
It says your name on it. Like,
Yep. And the constant contradiction, right? There was no U-Haul. There was a U-Haul. Yeah.
It's a rental car actually, but it was there, but it wasn't.
It was there, but it wasn't. Then it transformed into a U-Haul truck.
It turned into Optimus
Magically.
I lived in it. Please, no. I lived in that U-Haul. That was my home.
Yeah, we see what it says here too. Owner voice. Franchisees feel heard, valued, and involved. Which again, that's communication with them too, as we can see. Like because remember, Chrystal and Chrystal had to ask for the bank stuff, right? For the bank access to that bank account, never got it. Things like that.
Great from the outside with more locations, headlines, franchise agreements, and a bigger national footprint. But inside a franchise system, growth has a cost. Franchisees are dealing with customers, rent, payroll, staffing, inventory, online backlash, and a daily pressure of making the store survive. If the support system does not keep pace with expansion, owners feel it long before the public does. That is why the money story and the support story cannot be separated. If BAM benefits when stores open, when stores operate, transfer, and resell, then the health of the franchisees is not a side issue. It is the issue. One of our sources with close ties to Bricks and Minifigs explained to us very plainly that the performance of the local franchisees is irrelevant in terms of the money that BAM corporate can generate. To say it plainly, Bricks and Minifigs corporate is going to be able to continue to generate massive amounts of wealth in spite of the performance of the local franchises. That same source also feels like BAM corporate offers little to no support to the local franchises. And to be clear, that is a source claim.
To the surprise of no one that's been watching, right?
That's how I feel like a lot of companies or corporations act. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to put nobody on blast, so I'll just shut up from here. But like, you know, like it's not just BAM. There's other big corporations that do that. They use, you know, their stores as their like lifeblood, and then you just got to figure it out.
Yeah,
and make it work because it's not really corporate's problem.
Yeah, when it comes to bricks and minifigs specifically, though, at least in the instances that we've seen, you know, Relic, you know, the Gormans, apparently also plastic pallets, right, and others is again they don't provide what is really needed to these people and set them up and seemingly set them up for failure, right?
I mean, and these motherfuckers seem to be doing well if they're asking for that kind of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have to be doing fucking well.
Well, that's what I mean. That's how they make the money, right? Is just through the franchising. That's basically what's keeping them afloat is getting people to buy in, essentially.
If they want to keep buying in. I wonder. I'm like, I don't know. I don't really see a good reason to do such a thing right now, but whatever. That's just me.
Well, it just seems like, again, like the plan is, you know, big money, you know, in the short term, you know, and then this idea that, again, like I said, that's why, like, when you look at the accusation of the franchise turning, it seems a little bit more likely that they just basically just keep recycling the shit, right? To continue to make more money. It's like, hey,
they're not here for a long time, John. They're here for a good time.
Maybe, you know, maybe just make as much as they can, and then just, you know, take the golden parachute, right?
When you line all of it up with the 2026 financial condition warning, the rapid growth, the signed but unopened pipeline, and BAM's own public statement saying that improvements are needed, the support question became impossible to ignore.
Now that brings us to the former owners. EBN reached out to multiple former owners listed through the FDD materials. As of this recording, we received 3 responses. One former owner declined to comment and cited fear for their own safety and their family's safety.
Jesus. Why would... Geez, I wonder what kind of conversation they must have had with corporate to fear for their family safety. Makes you wonder, right? What that conversation was like. Fears for him and his family's safety.
Another said they may consider answering questions later. A third said they preferred to stay out of all of it. When former owners stay quiet, it is easy to assume they have nothing to say. Maybe some do not. But silence can mean legal risk, fear, exhaustion, contracts, or someone who just wants their life back. In the 2026 FDD gives us another reason this silence matters. It says some current and former franchisees signed provisions restricting their ability to speak openly about their experience.
So NDAs, basically. They signed an NDA.
It also says some former franchisees have signed termination and release agreements that prohibit them from disparaging BAM. Now, we're not going to identify the people we contacted, their stores, their regions, or anything that could point back to them. But their responses do belong in this story. And unfortunately, at least one former owner connected their silence directly to fear.
One former owner did agree to go on the record with EBN. People who have been following this controversy are quite familiar with the Gormans. Their story centers around the Salem store, the disputed takeover, and the fallout connected to the Brian Mansell Lego collection. Chrystal Gorman has claimed that corporate knew more than it publicly suggested. She has raised questions about store assets, liabilities, and what happens when corporate takes control of a location. But in our interview, Chrystal made a much bigger claim. She told EBN that she knows personally of 9 different stores over the past years that have been taken over by corporate.
If we have our store, the Last Relic store, Sacramento, and Canby, which are
Clackamas County.
Which is the Clackamas County, which are 4 that are
Canby is the plastic pallets, I believe,
are publicly known now, right? Yeah. Then I have been in contact with 5 store owners, previous franchise owners, separate from those 4.
So there's the new number is 9.
9. Yeah.
Okay.
They have reached out to me in various messaging platforms.
Sure.
But I have agreed. They're all hesitant between NDAs or the public exposure that's going around, fears of corporate, all of those things.
Absolutely.
Hesitant. I've agreed not to say even the state that they are in.
We have not independently verified every one of the 9 stores she is referring to, and we are not saying every store dispute happened the same way. But when a former BAM owner says on camera that she personally knows of 9 stores taken over by corporate, that becomes one of the biggest claims in this entire story. The FDD does not prove that every reacquisition is suspicious, but it does show the franchise sales, transfers, training fees, and reacquisitions are part of the system. So the fair question is this: are these all ordinary, legitimate business events, or does the system create financial incentives that the public deserves to understand?
All right, so we're gonna put. Can you hear me? You hear me now? Aura, are you able to hear it now? All right, that's wild. So, and that's something. Yeah, we did hear Chrystal mention that before as well on the other interview. I believe she mentioned with Echo Base Network. But yeah, that's crazy though to me that one guy actually fears for his safety. It makes me wonder. It's like, geez, man, who did he talk to at BAM? Right? Like, I wonder if his conversation with Kai with here we go. His conversation with Kai McAllister, if there was some some other threats that were made for his physical well-being. That'd be insane.
Word.
Or can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Because you couldn't hear before, but yeah, that's wild. What do you think of that? Or the one person that fears for their actual safety, that there's going to be retribution against him and his family if he speaks out publicly?
I believe it. It makes it seem exactly like, not to refer to like the Mormon thing, but like the mafia aspect of it. You know, that's kind of exactly what it seems like.
Well, it makes me.
It's always kind of seemed like that a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Sorry, Nick. I didn't mean to do you like that. Didn't mean to do you like that by pausing it there. Oh, hold on. It went to another video.
The FDD does.
But yeah, no, that's freaking wild, man. I'm just then, like I said, just to jump back on what Chrystal said about the 9 stores. Yeah, I don't expect them all to come forward, especially if some have signed NDAs. They obviously are going to avoid. They're wanting to avoid some legal ramifications there. You know, avoid a lawsuit. But we're gonna have to finish this video tomorrow. We're also gonna start going over the plastic pallets lawsuit. I'll go ahead and link the video though there in the chat for those of you that want to give it a look without our commentary. But we'll probably finish it up tomorrow. But I also wanted to go ahead and share. Let me go ahead and share Chrystal's GoFundMe once again here real quick for those of you that want to support her. And I will share a couple of the other ones. Or is hiding from BAM now. Or is fine. Or doesn't need to hide. He knows I got his back.
Well, what is it? No, it's just the internet. Unless they're fucking with my internet.
Yeah, they could be, right? They could be messing with us. You
probably. Because the whole thing like crashed like 3 times.
Yeah. It's happened to me a bunch of it used to happen all the time when I had Spectrum. I got rid of Spectrum, and that was like the best thing ever. So I went ahead and shared everybody's GoFundMes in the chat. If you guys want to support them or just want to share them, I'm sure that'll help them a lot. But yeah, we'll finish this tomorrow. And we'll maybe start going over the plastic pallets suit, because I'm sure there's going to be information in there that is going to be pretty revealing in regards to how that all turned out. I'm sure there's going to be similarities that we find with like the Gormans, with Relic, and whoever else has actually spoke about, what's happened publicly. So we appreciate you guys joining us. We'll go ahead and play the outro song here, but hope you guys will like the video. If you guys are new here in the chat, please be sure to subscribe, like the video, put on the notifications so you know when we're going live. But we'll be back tomorrow night with some more of this stuff, going over more of it and see what we can find. So we appreciate you guys joining us this fine Monday evening.
Yep.
And
thank
thank
you
so
all
very
for
much.
hanging out. Yeah, appreciate your time, guys.
I appreciate you guys taking the time. And for those of you, you know what time it's time for some Little Richie with Snort Franklin. symphony of an e-bigger. So you all have a fantastic night. We'll catch you all on the next one.
Take care.
My name is Richard. I am Darkside Phil. Oh my god. I really need to make this fucking money. I need that money. I really do. I need that money. I'm done. Why am I poisoning? What? Why am I toxic? It was like a Why am I toxic? It was like a Phil's a faggot. Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a loser. Phil's a faggot. Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a loser. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. Why are you doing this to me? I just can't do it. Real talk, why? Ban anybody that says they have Apple art. Ban anybody that says they have Apple art. We made $1 and lost 1 subscriber. So you guys earn 3 minutes of commercials. I don't smell my fingers. I touch my face. Did something that's a twitch. Did something that's a twitch. Got no bitch in my blood. 0 bitch in my blood. Honestly, straight lies in people's faces. I don't smell my fingers, right? That was my depression. I need that money. Pay my bills, electric bill, the internet bill. That was my depression. I need that money. Pay my bills, electric bill, the internet bill. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. Like, why are you doing this to me? I just can't do it. Why am I toxic? It was like a Why am I toxic? It was like a Phil's a faggot. Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a loser. Phil's a faggot. Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a loser. Big Stupid Richard.
Déjà niqué mes veines. Le pédoc de niquer mes deux rêves. Le pédoc de niquer mes deux rêves.